In the theater of one spectator, I dream of things that never happened, and I say to myself, why not? Although I still often squawk like a pompous pigeon, because I would like to adapt to the world. Meanwhile, love shows what a person should be like. You see, to be honest, apart from all that anyone can learn, how to dress, how to speak properly, and so on. The difference between a lady and a flower girl is not how they behave, but how they are treated. Life is not about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself. But I wouldn't like to lecture. What is life if not a series of inspired madness? Galatea never really liked Pygmalion. There is something to divine about his attitude towards her to speak to the heart. I guess I'm not that out of this world when it comes to writing lyrics. It's true that the more I get to know people, the more I love animals. Now that we have learned to fly in the air like birds and swim underwater like fish, we only need one thing: to learn to live on earth like humans. A reasonable person adapts to the world. An unreasonable man tries to adapt the world to himself. Therefore, great progress is made thanks to people. Anyway, look in the newspapers, go to the Middle East or closer to Ukraine. Ideals are like stars. Even if we cannot achieve them, we should orient ourselves according to them. The Israeli Defense Forces carried out heavy shelling of the city of Rafah in the south of the Gaza Strip on the night from Sunday to Monday, last night. According to the Palestinian news agency, over 100 people were killed and several hundred injured in the bombings. The victims include children. Hours earlier, Cairo warned of the direct consequences of the attack. The world is entering an era of chaos. The Russians built huge fences made of wagons. They are afraid of attacks from Ukraine. The so-called the SARS train is as much as 30 kilometers long and is located several kilometers from the front line. A defensive dam with 2.1 thousand freight train wagons, the ordeal of mostly very innocent people continues. However, there are no third-class carriages in heaven. I have been going to Ukraine since the beginning of the war. The mood has never been so dark, someone in turn noticed. We are going to one of the towns near Bakhmut. Extremely fierce fighting is currently taking place on this ground, on this soil. Fortunately, it's snowing, so it's hard for Russian drones to spot us. But it's still dangerous. We hear explosions in a village where 15,000 people used to live. People today only 700 inhabitants remain. These people are attacked every day. Brother, think of others' future, but never of your own. The President of Russia repeats the slogan about Ukraine that it is an artificial state, and about the Poles that they collaborated with Hitler and he had to attack Poland. Besides, Poles colonized Russian regions. Europe is trembling before Putin, the mass media report. The war in Ukraine has shown that peace in Europe cannot be taken for granted. NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg calls for increased alliance defense capabilities and continued support for Kiev. In his opinion, only in his way Ukraine will be able to face Russia and Europe will be able to sleep peacefully. These statements are developed in the context of our common loss of heart desires. There are two tragedies in life. One is to lose something you love. The second is to regain something you love, Bertolt Brecht said. Europe's geopolitical loneliness is fast approaching. Some people are already thanking Trump for saying that the United States will not defend us. As long as I have needs, I have reason to live. I ponder. Satisfaction is death, someone said. All great truths begin as blasphemies. I won't repeat anything new here. Hatred of oppression will still distort the features, anger and at the justice still raises raised at ugly voices. Oh, we who wanted to lay the foundations of peace and kindness. We could never be friendly ourselves. You look into the eyes of your enemies at the frauds that take away your peel, but you do not remove the snoring of those who bite your throats. Bertolt Brecht wrote, "You cannot write poems about trees when the forest is full of police. Man's destiny is man. It is a terrible night for man, the night in which the truth is revealed. It is the hour of blindness in which man believes in the human minds," said Bertolt Brecht. Every day to earn my daily bread, I go to the market where lies are brought. I hope to take my place among the sellers. He said, "Unhappy is the land that does not produce a hero." No, Andrea, unhappy is this land that needs a hero. Time passes, and if it did not, it would be a bad prospect for those who do not sit at golden tables. Methods are running out, the incentives no longer work. New problems emerge and require new methods. Reality is changing. To represent these modes of representation must also change. Nothing comes from nothing. The new one comes from the old one and therefore new. Time is short and the unknown surrounds us, and it is not enough to simply live mindlessly and happily, endure oppression calmly, and learn wisdom as we age. The anger of this world is so great that you have to run so that your legs won't be stolen. I say this on the sidelines of the rich carnival in Brazil. We are not responsible, Brecht argued. This planet is a temporary thing. It hurtles along with all sorts of other objects, a whole range of planetary matter towards a star in the Milky Way. We are not responsible on a planet like this, he thought. When the waters poured into Atlantis city, the rich people still cried out for their slaves. Quote ends. Sin is what is new, strong, surprising, strange. Theater must be interested in sin if young people want to go to it. There is no journey more difficult than returning to reason. On Saturday, February 10, 2024, clubs of Gazeta Polska held another protest of free Poles in Warsaw. The editor-in-chief of this pro-peace newspaper argued at the beginning of the rally that today Poland is ruled by Gomulka's idiots dressed in European clothes. Political opponents of the Polish Peace Party were constantly called thieves, bandits, traitors from the stage, and losers. What to say? The law was created for one purpose only, to exploit those who do not understand it or whose naked poverty prevents them from obeying it. And whoever wants a crumb of this exploitation must strictly obey the law, said Bertolt Brecht, who I mentioned earlier. Meanwhile, the whole world says, yes, we know what is written in the books, but now let's see what our books tells us. Eyes, brother, you may hesitate. One condition, if you then go further. But thing with feeling, sitting and rebelling do not go together. Compassion of the oppressed for the oppressed is essential. It is the only hope in the world Indeed, I live in dark times. No one will hear a good word. A clean front exposes betrayal. And whoever is still laughing has not yet heard this terrible news. When sharks eat sharks, the little fish have their power. Therefore, I continue to say, one of the greatest pleasures of the human race is thinking. Sister, brother, for once you must try not to evade the facts. Humanity is kept alive by brutal acts. He who fights may lose. Whoever doesn't fight has already lost. I would like to end this meeting with you with the same sentence with which he always ended and heated discussion and his program on German television titled Das Literarische Quartett, the literary critic Reverend Marcel Reich-Ranitzky. Wir stehen selbst enttäuscht und sehen betroffen den Vorhang zu und alle Fragen offen. What I explain to you is this. We ourselves are disappointed and concerned. The curtain is closed and all questions are open. So, remember me in your prayers and until the next meeting.